Dude, you're living in like a $2,000 studio apartment. What are you doing? Of course it's expensive. These people glamorize it, and then they want to move there because it's super fancy. They bump the prices up because everyone wants to live there, and then they complain because the prices are too high. You see the problem here? Move somewhere else. Hi guys, welcome to my video, Make Yourselves at Home. My name is Yvonne Navarro and I make content here on YouTube about relationships, law of attraction, mental health, anti-MLM, and on Saturdays I bring you some gossip, some chit chat, and sometimes some stories about my life and other people's lives. Make yourself comfortable, grab your coffee, your wine, your tea, and let's get started. So I keep watching these videos about YouTubers moving out of LA. I'm leaving LA, finally leaving LA. I'm like, what's going on? So I wanted to make a video about my thoughts as a person that lives in LA, that is not from LA. Why are these people leaving and what do I think about it? So let's get started. Especially influencers, right? Because I see a lot of influencers moving out of LA. I don't see a lot of actors moving out of LA. Some actors don't really live inside LA, but that's one of the things. So I feel like as an influencer, people think like LA is so glamorous and Hollywood and you need to live there to be able to connect and network and everything. And yes, that's true. Like there's a lot of networking opportunities. There's a lot of events you can go, and yeah, it's pretty cool. You can collab with people, I guess. I don't know. Hi, you wanna come? Come here. Abby's here. She was trying to get here. I'm gonna have her on my lap, so if you see me moving my hand like that, I'm not crazy. I think people move to LA because they think it's this like glamorous place and it's full of connections and everything, and yeah, you can network and you can go to events and it's really cool. There's premieres, and if you know someone that knows someone, you can go to these premieres and these parties and know people. Yes, that's true. I feel like the misconception they have is they glamorize it so much that when they get here, one, they move to Hollywood, which is like, why would you ever move to Hollywood? That's, no, don't do it. So this is gonna be like a gossip, my opinion, and also some tips like, don't move to Hollywood. If you're thinking about moving to LA, do not move to Hollywood. Look at other places. One, it's overpriced. Two, it's dirty and full of crazy people. Literally crazy people. I've seen the craziest thing in Hollywood. One time I saw this post, thankfully I didn't actually witness it, but I saw this post that this girl was walking or jogging. She was working out in Hollywood Boulevard, mind you, in the middle of the day, and this homeless guy poured a bucket of poo on her head. Like, threw it at her. I don't know how it happened. It's just disgusting, crazy, and if you go to Hollywood, it's really disgusting. So it's not like the movies. It's not all this glamorized life that people want to make you believe it is. It's really not. And if you've been to Hollywood, you know what I'm talking about. So I feel like because people glamorize this thing in this city, and especially Hollywood, they feel like, oh my god, it's gonna be amazing and I'm gonna be able to make it. I don't think it has nothing to do with where you live, especially now, the internet. You can make YouTubes anywhere, and you'll be fine. You don't need to live in LA to be successful. You can collab and do stuff, yeah, but you have to like it for more than just that, because that doesn't cut it. And I think that's why people move out, because they see that shit, it's not working and it's not as good as it should be. So they either move to Hollywood, Beverly Hills, or West Hollywood. West Hollywood is a bunch of old houses, overpriced, really overpriced. That is not worth it. The buildings are really old and you don't even get really good amenities. So when I first saw West Hollywood, I went with a friend and someone that lived there, and I was like, this is not cool. Like, what he's paying is a lot of money for nothing, just to say he lives in West Hollywood. And honestly, yeah, traffic and stuff, but do you really need to live in West Hollywood? Like, if you want to hang out, you can go hang out in Hollywood. So when I first moved to LA, I moved to the school housing. I knew nothing about LA, so I lived in Hollywood. And after that first year, I made it a point to move out of Hollywood. I moved into North Hollywood. Okay. you're familiar with LA, you may know that a lot of people shit on the valley because it's not the greatest area and it's hotter. Yes, it's hotter, but it's not that far. One, I didn't drive. So I lived close to the metro station because, hi, do you need to go somewhere? I lived close to the metro station, so I wouldn't need to, it literally took me 5 minutes to go from North Hollywood to Hollywood Boulevard. So, ooh, you're hairy. I can see the hair lying all over, so I'm going to be having it on my nose. So I could literally go from North Hollywood to Hollywood in 5 minutes taking the train. Simple as that. Like, traffic wasn't really that much of a problem for me because I didn't drive and I would just take metro. It was fast. It was really, really fast. So you don't need to live in Hollywood to live in LA. So what these people have been saying, like, the reasons what I've been seeing why they move out is because people are fake. It's just a bunch of entitled, selfish users that they don't really like you for who you are. They just see what they can get out of you. And yeah, that's true. Did I just see a mosquito or a fly? I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna flip right now because okay, yeah, a lot of people are like that, but there's people like that almost everywhere, and most people that are like that are in that industry. Influencers, models, and sometimes actors too, or most of the time actors. So yeah, that's true, but that's everywhere you go. If you go to that industry, I feel like it's not just LA. Is it more prominent in LA? Yeah, but are there people that are not like that in LA? Yes, also yes, because not everyone is entitled, and not everyone in the community, not everyone in acting, not everyone in YouTube is entitled. There's some people who are really real and they just do it for fun and they enjoy what they do and they are actually caring people. But that is one of the reasons why people move out, because they feel like it's super dry, it's like people are not nice and stuff. But what you can do, just find your own circle. Like, why are you hanging out with those people that are fake? There are more people that are not fake out there living in LA. I met the best people doing acting and background work and audience work and all of this creative stuff. I met the best people there. I have really good friends in there and they're awesome. So it's not really one size fits all. Like, it's not really one size fits all. Like, it's not all bad or all good. The other reason why I see people hate on LA and want to leave when they move in is the homeless population. And this, yeah, I have nothing to refute. Yeah, it's sad. It's really bad. There's a lot of homeless everywhere. Even here, like, I live in a nice area to me. And I live in a building, so it's secure. It has security and it's close, so that's good. But if you walk like a few blocks from here under a bridge, there's tents. There's little tents everywhere. And when I came, I was like, what is this? It is a shock. But I didn't know that it wasn't everywhere in the US. I thought it was everywhere, but it's not. It's mostly in LA. So yeah, you will see blocks and blocks and blocks full of people living in tents. And yeah, some of them are drug users, some of them are mentally ill, and that is a huge problem this city has. But again, it depends where you live. You're gonna encounter them eventually, but you need to be very careful. Don't walk there at night. Don't live near the places that you know are gonna be dangerous. Like, I wouldn't live near Hollywood. I wouldn't live in downtown, and I wouldn't live in Long Beach and all of those areas because it's more dangerous. Some places in those areas are not, but majority of it is. So downtown, definitely a no-no for me. Koreatown, definitely a no-no for me. South, like East LA and all of that, definitely a no-no for me. Near MacArthur Park, definitely no. Don't, like, know your areas and know where you're gonna live, because if not, you're stuck in a lease in an area that you don't like. And like in Hollywood, you're stuck in Hollywood. It's horrible. It's really bad to live there. You can go party and come back to your house because you're not gonna survive in LA if you live there. Another reason why people move out, or I've seen people moving out, is because they cannot find love. A lot of girls relate so hard dating in LA, and yes and no, it's hard dating everywhere. And It just depends on the people you swipe right on or you meet and the places you frequent. Like, I made my boyfriend in LA, and I met several people that are really cool in LA. I've met shitty people in LA, but it's just the type of person you attract and you look for. There's a stereotype for a reason, and if you're going for the stereotype, yeah, you're gonna get that type of personality, and you're gonna get players and people who don't want to commit. But does that mean that all of the population in LA is like that? Not really. No. Another reason is because it's overpriced. It's super expensive, and you can get a bigger place for what you're paying or less and somewhere else. And yes, that's true because, yeah, California is expensive, especially LA. LA prices are just through the freaking roof. Rents are expensive. So to give you a gauge, studio apartments, well, right now with the pandemic, they went a little bit down because no one can pay the rent. But normally studio apartments start at, okay, if you go to a shitty area with no amenities, nothing, like a little egg, you can start at $1,500. And you may be able to find like $1,200, but it's going to be far, or it's going to be really, really shitty. But let's say $1,500 for a regular one. And they go up to $3,000, $2,500, depending where you are. A 2-bedroom apartment go up from 26 to like 3,000, 3,200, and goes up depending on what area you're in. But usually, so yes, it is expensive, but these people are talking about prices in West Hollywood or in Hollywood. Dude, you're living in like a $2,000 studio apartment. What are you doing? Of course it's expensive. Move somewhere else. Even though your commute is going to be a little bit longer to wherever you go. But again, you don't even have a stable job like that you have to go every day. So you work from home. Doesn't matter where you live. So if you want to live in LA, live in an area that is not that hyped and that is not that glamorized, because these people glamorize it, and then they want to move there because it's super fancy. They bump the prices up because everyone wants to live there, and then they complain because the prices are too high. You see the problem here? Move somewhere else. So in the valley, again, people shit on the valley. Yes, it's hot. Yeah, it's not that nice. It's not that glamorized, but there's some areas in the valley that are not bad. Studio City is not bad. Parts of North Hollywood are not bad. Sherman Oaks is not bad. Tarzana, I don't think is that bad. Some places. Woodland Hills is not that bad. Like, there's several places you can live that does not have to be Hollywood or West Hollywood, and that does not have to be that overpriced. Yes, they are overpriced. It's expensive still, but it's not that expensive. So, you know. Also, find somewhere with a leasing office, because a lot of these places have just landlords that do not live in the property and that do not have an office. It's not like an actual company that it's there. So I don't recommend that at all. I will make probably another video about tips to rent in LA to not get fucked. I've been renting for a long time, and I've been renting a lot of places for a long time. So I've moved a lot. So I have some knowledge of that. So I'll give you some tips later. And finally, my thoughts on this. So, yeah, most of those reasons are valid, and you can live wherever you want to live. You don't have to live in LA to make it anywhere, unless you want to be an actor. That's why I'm here. I want to be an actress, so productions are mostly here or Atlanta, and I don't want to live there, so I want to live here. I love the weather. I love the people. I love living here. I do love that glamorized parts of the city, but I also love where I live, and I love the people I've met here. And everyone has a dream here, or the majority of the people that move to LA, they move with a reason and for a dream, and I love that. We share that in common. I met amazing people, and I would not change that for anything. But of course, if in the future I'm like done with this life and done with everything, I will move, probably, yeah. But just so you know, it is possible to live in LA. It is possible to survive in LA and not have all of these shitty things happening to you. But it's also... Do you need to leave? She needs to leave. There you go. Don't sit on my glasses. Thank you. But it's also good to move out if you need to. Like, if you find somewhere else. Yeah, if you move to Texas and those places, they're smaller, they're calmer. You won't have what you have in LA, but if you have the money, you can just travel. Just Airbnb for a week, go back. Like, literally, it's no big deal. just so you know, before you move in, these are real things. These are things that are real that will probably make you move back. But if you really love it, like if you really see the pros it has amazing weather, it has mountains and trees and the beach within reaching distance. So it's really amazing. I wouldn't change it for anything. Again, I don't know in a few years, but right now I want to live here. I want to buy a house here. And it is possible. Is it overpriced? Is the market saturated? Yeah, it is. But most places are right now. So do your research, make a plan, make your vision board so you can attract it. And if you want to live in LA, make sure to have a plan. Make sure to have backup money. And that's it. You can do it. It's not that hard. And all of these people moving out, that's fine. If that works for them, that's really cool. Maybe I've heard some people say that, oh, maybe it will make traffic better. I don't know. I don't think so. I think there's as many people moving in as many people moving out. It's like everything. It's a big city and you get the pros and the cons of the city. I love it. I wouldn't discourage you from moving if you want to. Just do your research and I don't know. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Give it a like if you like this type of videos where I just chat with you. I give you some gossip or some tips. And subscribe to my channel so you can know when I upload videos. Right now I cannot talk. My mouth feels like slow. Like, you know what? I don't know what's going on with me. But anyways, thanks so much for watching and we'll see you in my next video.